Thank you for joining us today and welcome to our VLAN webinar soon. Today's webinar is about improving customer experience, one customer at a time. As we all know, important, right? The heart of our business and what make a business is customer. So today we want to bring for you a hard-hitting story about customer experience that is gone through by a veteran GM in one of the hardest line in hospitality line of all his experiences on turning a business around. And that's on one spectrum today. That's will be our speaker, Peter Tan. And on the other spectrum, we have our speaker from Zendesk, Jonathan Kiat, which will bring the more and latest emerging trend in AI on how a tool like customer experience Zendesk can help businesses to stay abreast and stay ahead of the curve and their competitor with it. So without further ado, I would like to bring on our first speaker of the day and our sharing today by Mr. Peter Tan.
Okay, all right. I've been in the hospitality industry for about 37 years. Mostly work in hotels, I started in Singapore actually, so I work in some restaurants also, came out to do my own business, but came back to the hotel industry again and has been a hotel GM for about 9 years. It's my 9th year. So I was semi-retired. I came back to work again after retirement. This is my second hotel after retirement, actually. So I've been here for 1.5 years, and it's been quite a challenge, but we are moving forward in the resort. Each resort has its own story, and this place is a bit unique. It's been around for 35 years, and a resort that long, has a lot of history, and it sometimes takes a bit of time to change. Anything that you want to change takes a longer time, because many staff have been here for many years. There are a lot of problems that you need to overcome, but you can't overcome it overnight. Some takes a few months. Some problems may even take up to 1 or 2 years to solve. But not bad. I'm still alive after 1.5 years. So, yeah.
I think you're being very modest. I heard from Lance, who recently visited your resort, you did quite an amazing job in increasing the sales revenue within a year. Could you maybe share more about with us? How did you manage to do that?
It was quite lucky actually. I was hired not because of my golf knowledge. Actually, I haven't managed a golf resort before this. This is the first time I'm managing golf. The last time I played golf was 30 years ago, I think. But the first month I came here, it's a really old resort, haven't been refurbished for 35 years. So I was standing in front of the golf course and I thought to myself, if I need to choose which area I can improve on, I can't do all three. There's 3 components to this place. There's the golf course, F&B, and the rooms. So I can't do all 3 at the same time because not because of the money. I could ask my owners for the money to do it, but it will not make sense if you don't. I believe that if you want to have a business that can run for a very long time, whatever that you do needs to come from your profit. If, like, for example, if I make money in golf, whatever money I make there goes back into refurbishing the golf course, that is more valuable to me. So I chose golf. I shifted my office. I don't have an office anymore, actually. I shifted my office to the golf reception. So then from there, we had 57 members when I first joined 1.5 years ago. Today, we have 1,300 members.
Wow.
Golf club members. Yeah, correct.
3 times.
More than 3 times. 57 to 1,300. That's a few thousand jump. Revenue-wise, when I joined, golf was doing about 80,000 a month. We do currently about 450,000 to 500,000 a month just for golf. So that decision was a right decision. I didn't know whether it was going to be a right decision. So what I told Lance was, I didn't do anything great. And I'm not a miracle worker. What I did was what I was trained to do. I started asking customer what they wanted to see to be improved in the golf course. It was simple as asking a Japanese member, what do you want? He said, oh, no hot water here. Not enough water, no pressure. So what I did was what he wanted, we gave. So we had more Japanese golfers coming in. One important thing that whenever I go into a resort is that always go back to the history of the place so that you know who comes to this place. No, it's not going to change, for a town like Sungai Petani. You're not suddenly going to get more people from Penang or KL coming in. No, it'll be almost the same type of customers that comes to Sungai Petani. Does it make sense?
Yes, tapping to the the demographic of your customers.
Yes. Yeah, it's the same demographic. You're not going to get travel agents, for example. I've been here 1.5 months. I've never seen a tour bus in Sungai Petani. Never. Unlike like when I was in Malacca, you can see like 50 to 60 tour buses every day there. It is a tourist town, but here we are not. For us to do corporate functions also, it's not on people's mind. Let's say somebody from KL. Let's say you guys, for example, you want to do a corporate retreat out of Kuala Lumpur. You think of Penang, Malacca, Johor Bahru, Gentings, Camerons, Langkawi, Johor Bahru. No one will think of Sungai Petani. No one. I guarantee you that, So you need to know who your customers are. So from the past records, we know most of the golfers here actually come from Kulim and Butterworth. They're actually Japanese and Koreans, expats. So we targeted them for the initial part. So what they wanted, we just tried our best to give it to them. And that's it. And spend a lot of time there, a lot of talking to customers, what they wanted. And it's a simple, golf is quite simple. People want a good golf course where, the grass is cut every day and, not much wildlife and all that. It's a game that you see. People like to see things. Like you in the golf course, for example, if you see something, the trees have to be nice, the flowers have to be nice. It's something which is visual. So what unfortunately this place wasn't it wasn't making money, to be frank. So the only thing that they did every month was to worry about paying the staff salary and worry about paying the suppliers. There was no money for upkeep. So a golf course, for example, if you don't upkeep very fast, you can see secondary jungles coming up and the grass grows every day when there's no stop, man. You can't stop the grass from growing, So we had to invest in machineries, heavy machineries, like grass cutters, tractors, a lot of machineries for golf, specific machineries for golf, like hollow tiny machine and that. All these are not cheap. So the only way we could buy this thing was to really improve the sales by 400 to 500. And I said, we improved from 80,000 to 500,000. And it became profitable because golf is a fixed cost. There's a fixed number of employees. Like example, golf course maintenance, we use about 18 employees. So whether the cost is full or not, I still use 18 employees. Correct? Yeah. So if it's like one golfer today and or full house tomorrow, I still use the same number of staff. Cost maintenance also the same. Cost in your diesel, petrol, rental of buggies, maintaining your machineries and all that, it's all quite fixed. So if you can do above your break-even cost, you will do very well. Like I said, I found out what our break-even was, and I push it towards that level. That's about it. Yeah.
For golf revenue, I feel like this is the first time I'm getting a crash course on how to run the business on golf course. So for golf, right, is it like a one-off membership renewal or is it monthly recurring?
Yes. Times have changed. In the past, it used to be life membership. You pay 30,000 for your life membership, and I don't know, it's weird. When I first came here, people used to tell me things like, oh no, golf is not a business which is viable because there are lesser golfers now. It's not a game which the current generation is taking up and all that. Because it's not a cheap game, for you to start, you have to buy your clubs and all that. It can cost up to 6,000 to 8,000. But we have now short-term membership. You don't have to be member for life. You can be a term member, means you pay by year. If you pay by year, it's called term membership. Here, it cost you about 1,500 a year, which is really cheap. And if you were to play 18 holes here, for example, it's only 50 ringgit. I think we are one of the cheapest in the northern region. So, but like I said, we are in SP, and it's a weird thing, yeah. Not to say SP people are kiam siap, or not. I mean, can't really spend, They can spend somewhere else, but they can't spend their own hometown. I'll give you an example. The food here is actually still one of the cheapest in Malaysia. You can get a plate of char kway teow for 550. I'm not kidding. Really. Any bowl of noodle is 550. I was in KL before this, so my wife and I used to have breakfast in Kayu Nasi Kandar. So one roti telur, one roti canai, and one teh peng will cost us about 12, 13 bucks. Yeah. The first time we came here, I wanted to pay. I took out 15 bucks. It was only 540 for the same thing. So that's how cheap the cost of living is over here. And it goes, and it also reflects on what we can sell. There's only a limit. I can't sell like KL prices for golf. I can't sell 200-300 ringgit per game. No way. There's no way, Even if you increase $2 or so, people jumping here, they be complaining on the Facebook. Why so expensive now? That's the way it is.
Peter, you seems to have a knack of sensing what customer need and hearing, giving them what they need. But how about you in leading your team? Because you also mentioned, in SP you have a team, you have limited resources. How you do all these business changes and improvement. What about the team? How did you lead them to profitability?
It was quite difficult at first. A resort is all you actually have many employees who has been here for many years, yeah, and they're so used to that that low level of business, and suddenly when you increase the business, which their work actually double or triple up, and a lot of them are not good enough in a way to do that level of business. Some okay, the younger ones okay, but the older ones who have been here for many years, many of them I call them managers by default. Over the years, they are not actually manager material, but over the years, because that position was vacant at one time, and there's no one taking up that position, and they became the manager. But they're not managers; they are still at best like a supervisor. So that's the problem we have in smaller towns. It's hard to get real talent here. I'll be very blunt also. If anybody who's good enough here, they won't be working here for 30 years. Does it make sense? Yeah. And to get talent to come to work in a small town also is quite difficult. Because many people already have families, and then their wife could be working in that. Let's say I have a few managers in Malacca, for example. I worked there for many years, but I can't bring them over here because their families are there, the children are already schooling, and to bring them from Malacca to Kedah, for example. But it's a nice town. It's really a nice town for families. But to get talent here, tough. And the biggest issue that we face today is the younger generation workforce coming into entry level positions. Because of COVID, many people had opportunities to have a look in other industries, and they found like, hey, wow, I don't have to be a waiter. I could be a Grab rider, for example. I'll earn more than a waiter. My hours are flexible. I can pick up my kids from school anytime I want. I don't have to work overtime. but yet I still earn more as a Grab rider. Okay, no doubt I don't have EPF, so blah, 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 and all that. But to many of them, it doesn't matter. What they earn today is more important than what comes in the future. Yeah. So, and hospitality is long hours. It's a tough job. And unfortunately, we don't pay well enough. We don't pay well enough. And it's actually our fault in a way, because we never kept up with other industries, you know. And I said, I have staff here who rather work in a factory. The best one. I have staff who, while working as recently, like as a waiter, she applied for civil service government job. When she got the job, to her it was like kena lottery, you know. You know, even though the salary was similar, but to her, wow, you know, I get the government job, 9 to 5, weekend off, I get pension somehow, which you don't get working in, you know, in hotel, for example. So that's a story. And better employees is always the same. The best hospitality employees in Malaysia will go to Singapore for one simple reason: the money is good. Yeah. So, and the best hospitality employees in smaller towns will go to bigger towns because better opportunities. You have bigger hotels there, better technology, you know, more things to learn, better prospect for the career. So that's the way it is. But you know, there are still a handful of very good employees here. Very, very good. I mean, those who are hardworking, they work here for their family, they do put in the effort and all that. But it's not enough sometimes for, you know, for a small town. So,
Do you
but
see any
that's
difference? Do you see any difference in how you're journeying with them when you first start takeover, given the turnaround that you had, and then with more business coming in? Do you see any difference with you and the team and the dynamic?
Actually, the funny thing here was they were actually overstaffed, very overstaffed, because you know, you lap up. I mean, you had a good time for many, many years, and how to say it nicely? It depends on who the owners are. If the owners dependent, their income is dependent on the hotel or resort, it's a different story. Like mine is owned by a bigger company. Whatever that we make here doesn't matter to them. Makes no difference to them. Yeah. Even if I make 5 million a year profit, still makes no difference to them. That's how much the parent company earns, you know. So the priorities are different. That's the reason why I was hired. So we wanted to change. You know, you don't want to be losing money for so many years. It doesn't make sense. I told them when I first came in, you don't want to be losing money. It really doesn't make sense. You might as well close the place down, right? Why lose money for every year? And it's just for 20 over years, you know, almost 30 years. Why do that? You must have just close the place down, you know, give the money to charity will be better. So hence, you know, we wanted to change. But again, a place which is has been entrenched for so long with such mentality, it's really difficult to change. It will take some time, but we are getting there. We're getting there. So, you know, that's the way it works.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the hard truth. I think this is really from the heart of business owner in one of the toughest industry, hospitality, given, you know, COVID impact. Yes. Neighboring sexier state impact like Penang, talent fight, and you managed to, within a year, grew the business by so much. If I can take away from your story is the heart of your customer experience is you listen to the customer. You listen to the Japanese customer, what they want, and you start giving them. So that was the start, right? I mean, since this
that was the start. That was the first conversation I had with a golfer, was a Japanese golfer. So we were built. This golf course was built as one of the best golf courses in the northern region many years ago. But over the years, no maintenance and all that, and went down the drain, basically. So for us to repair everything back would take about, I think, another 2 to 3 years. The buggy track, for example, is a huge, it's a huge cost to do. So, but it will take time also. We can't repair all the buggy track at one time because that will affect business also. So we are doing stage by stage. So in the meantime, while we are doing all this, we came up with a few added incentive for the golfers to come back. Give you an example, like today, for example, is a Thursday. 2 years ago, on a Thursday morning, you probably get about 10 golfers, means 5 buggies go up. This morning, I have 35 buggies going up. So that's how much the difference is, you know. One way that I decided to make the golfers happy and bring in more golfers here was through food, actually. You can spend thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars on marketing for social media and all that, you know, through influencers, golf influencers. There's a lot of golf influencers, actually. And I don't think it will still bring in as much business as what we have today. Last year, exactly 1 year, almost 1 year ago. So Pasaman last year was in April. Majority of the golfers here are Malays, about 70%. And then I saw what the sales that they did the year before that, which was 2023, Pasaman. Golf was only 35,000. I said, die, like it's die, should die on, you know. So what I did was, I gave complimentary breakfast. Okay. The reason is because we can do this because we are a resort. We already have breakfast every day for our in-house guests. Yeah. So at that time we didn't have many golfers. We only like doing 30 to 40 golfers a day. So, and I anticipated that our business will go up drastically. And golf is like that because everybody tee off at almost the same time. So I didn't want everybody to be like jam up. So for example, one group can tee off first, another group can actually enjoy their breakfast, complimentary breakfast while waiting. The cost of breakfast is about actual cost of my breakfast is less than 10 ringgit per person. But before that, I increased my golf pricing slightly also to cover the cost. So came in free breakfast. I did free breakfast from February last year. So everybody started talking about it. I think we were the only golf course in Malaysia they give complimentary breakfast. So Pasaman was in April last year. I thought, okay, I'm giving complimentary breakfast. How about complimentary lunch during Pasaman? I wanted to bring in non-Malay golfers. Muslim golfers can't come because it's Pasaman. At most Muslim golfers, they will play in the evening about 9 holes before they book up Pasar. They only have, but it's a very small amount of people. So I said to myself, so okay, when you do a complimentary lunch, for example, so we did complimentary set lunch. If you know how to control costs, I even did complimentary buffet actually. So if you know how to control the costs, I've been in F&B for many, many years. So if I were to ask the company to pay for the complimentary lunch, I would not have a job today. I guarantee that somebody will stab me in my back for doing this. If it didn't work out, if it didn't work out. So what I did was I came up with my own money. I went to, what they call it, Lotus every morning. I went to the wet market. I bought all the ingredients with my own money and asked the chef to cook it. So we gave complimentary lunch for the golfers. And Penang people, northern people, Chinese especially, being so kiam siap, the word of mouth marketing just flew, And from there, more people came back as members. You must remember, if you want a consistent golf business, you need to have enough members, correct? Yeah, if you just hope on your guests and all that, it's going to be quite tough. So that month alone, I think one membership is about 1,500. Yeah, so that month alone, we closed about 300 members. And that 1,500, that member fee is actually pure profit. There's no cost to that. correct? So, long story short, the Pasaman 2023, they did 35,000. Pasaman 2024, we did 385,000. So, and I told my boss, after the thing finished, I told my boss, and everybody was jumping because they thought the cost for the buffet lunch was from the company. I said, no, the cost is for my own pocket. You know, I spent about, I think, almost 20,000 of my own money to buy things for that month because I wanted to prove a point with the experiment, basically. So it worked out, and I calculated with the additional members and more people playing, we could actually cover the cost for the buffet lunch. So today, if you play golf in Cita Sayang, you get complimentary breakfast and complimentary lunch.
Wow. So for our
Yes.
audience here, anyone who's
Yeah.
going to make a trip to Northern, please drop by Mr. Peter
Yeah.
Tan's golf course.
It's interesting, yeah?
Yes,
I think
it
it was
is.
it's the first time which I've done this, so and then not everybody agrees with it. Not everybody agrees with it, but I'm pretty sure because our golf course is still far from perfect. Really, I explained to a few golfers, it's not because we wanted to kill anybody's business or what. We are not that. We're not that. Golf is a game where nobody will play in your golf course every day. They want to experience different courses. Yeah, a lot of people here also go to southern Thailand over the weekend or go to Vietnam, which has beautiful courses and all that. We just wanted to make enough so that golf itself, we are profitable enough to repair or refurbish whatever you wanted. So at 400,000, 500,000, for example, my cost is about 321,000. You add in about 31,000 for the complimentary food, I still make about 100,000. So the choice is very simple. If I don't have the complimentary breakfast and lunch, I probably do about 200,000. So do you want to lose money or do you want to make a small profit? It was actually a very simple. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And with that profit, we could repair things, we could buy new buggies, we could do so many other things. So that's the way it is, basically. And that was my only choice. I didn't see any other way of doing it because of the condition of the course. We are still far from perfect, and and because of where we are not in KL. We're not in KL. We are not somewhere, we are not Tropicana, for example, where they can charge 300 to 400 per game and all that. But it's still 110 per game on the weekend. Still one of the cheapest. Yeah, for a guest. For a member, it's still 50 ringgit on a weekend. So, but to do those figures, I think it's quite good. Quite good.
I think it's impressive, Peter. Just
it was a risk. It was a risk, actually,
A risk that paid off. The most important thing is a risk that paid off.
Yes. Everything that you do needs to have a reason, actually. One of the reasons why I chose golf was because who plays golf? You got CEOs, bank managers, you got VIPs and all that. So with that, actually improve on our F&B business also. The coffee house business became better. People playing the evening, play bar and have coffee and all that, and functions, we got more functions also because people who come here are people who could end up organizing annual dinners, seminars, for example. So our banquet business also went up about 30% from there. So it's actually an easier way to market it.
So Peter, if I just can do a short recap of your amazing turnaround story, is because you are in hospitality line and you have a knack of turning businesses around. So for our audience here, business owner aside, whether you're a worker or a business owner, I think for business it's very important for profit. We want profit not because that we are money greedy. We want profits because we want to do good business. We want to be able to have profit to invest back into the company to continue to give good services. So you chose golf. And you personally listen to what the golfer want and you understand your customer demographic. So you give them what they want. You understand the business landscape, which is the strength of the resort, your neighboring state, what do they
Yep.
usually use it for? So you chose to give them value, the golfer value, the Japanese golfer hot water, and
Yeah.
continuously. And with that, I think it's amazing that you thought on other ways to give them what they want without customer asking, like the free breakfast, free lunch, because
Yes.
you are continuously enhancing their experience at your resort to make them come back more
Yeah.
and more, and they are willingly to spend money.
Yes.
And the amazing thing is, I think also because of your experience, you are the golfers, the business owners, the managers, and they like your place when they come in because they feel that it's a good customer experience that they have. They felt being taken
Correct.
care of. So
Yeah.
they started spending more on F&B. They come more with the annual dinners and all the other things. And you did all this without marketing dollars, but it's word of
No.
mouth, right?
No.
And I think that's amazing. And with your heart, and especially in the middle of Sungai Petani, with a growing business like yours, it will help the community there. That's the reality of life now, right?
Yep.
Talent fight, profit fight. So
Yep.
whoever hard worker who stay with you, they get a chance to earn real good money.
I
And
mean, all of them are earning good money. I've actually, even before the business went up, I already increased everybody's salary. The government announced actually the 1,007 minimum wage was to be from February. I already increased everybody's minimum wage last February, 1 year earlier than before what the government announced. So, in anticipation of the increased business. I think it's fair. Like, if the business increase, people work more, they should be paid more. So
amazing, Peter. So you give me the impression that you always want to give people more value, whether it's your customers or it's the team who is with you.
yep.
You really demonstrate the core of customer experience, giving what they really want, giving the need, anticipating their needs.
Yep.
And this is why, when Lance, our founder, our MD, met you and stayed at your resort, he was so excited. He said, hey guys, we got to bring Peter's story to our business kids to share. Because this is how we learn, how we inspire each other to reach for
Yep.
greater heights
Yep.
and build better business models. And this is what this is all about. So, Peter, we are about to come to a close for your session. Are there any particular more story you want to share here with our audiences?
I can talk for next 3 days.
We'll look for you for coffee in Sungai Petani, won't we, JK?
Yes. Anytime. Many of my LinkedIn connections actually have come here, so anytime. Yeah, I mean, there's you'll be surprised, yeah. I've worked for so long and I realize there's so many things I don't know. Every day I'm learning something new. If people don't teach you, you can still just go online, Google it and all that. You can still find information there. So it's a good learning experience. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. For me, that's the most important thing now. One of the reasons why I can survive so long here is because I'm happy what I'm doing. So if I'm not happy what I'm doing, I won't. If you don't see me here anymore, means I'm not happy doing what I'm doing. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Do you play golf?
No.
Oh, okay. Even more amazing for someone to
Yes.
build a golf business who doesn't play golf.
Yes. The last time I played was, I think, 30 years ago. My God, it was so long. People do ask me, okay, most golf resort GMs, for example, they do play golf a lot, I understand, because when they play golf, then they can see the cost, how to improve and all that. But, sometimes also I see some of them here, golfers can be quite fanatic. I was telling them, if I pick up the game, I get addicted to it, I'm screwed also. I end up not doing any work, so that's the way it is for now. But I'm pretty sure once we are settled down, then I'll pick up the game again. It's quite a nice game. Yeah.
It is my dad plays golf. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very nice calming game, and a game that spends a lot of time on the course.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Peter,
And
Yes, you continue, please.
No.
What would, with all your story, with all your experiences, we appreciate the offer for a few days sharing, but what would the one thing you want our audience to leave here with from today's session?
I think, if for those in hospitality, you really need to know what the customer wants, a lot of mistake that I've done before was that something that I was successful in, let's say in Penang, when I was working in Penang, for example, I can't use the same thing to be successful in Malacca. And what I was successful in Malacca, I can't use the same thing to be successful in Sungai Petani, because the demographic is so different. The wants and needs are so different. So make sure you do your homework first before you implement anything, means whatever you want to spend, all that. And you sometimes need to think outside the box a bit, how to do things, and take a bit of risk. You need to take a bit of risk, because there are some things that if you were to follow what everybody else does, you just be like what everybody else is. You'll never improve. Yep.
Great advice, Peter. It makes me feel like when I go north next, beyond Penang, I'll definitely drop by
You'll
Sungai
come.
Petani to look for you.
Nothing more than
Sure.
3 days to next year. Very boring. It is.
So honest. Okay, we'll plan
No,
less
really,
than 3 days tonight. Sure. JK, our idea for our next industry. Okay, so we had Peter here sharing for our sessions. For those who join us or maybe join us late, we have just finished Peter sharing. The next session, I'll bring on JK, which is our Zendesk Asia Pacific channel partner, to share about the latest trend. But I would like you to stay on, because after the trend sharing and the success story, we will share a QR code for your feedback. And those who give the feedback will actually share the full-fledged copy of the 2025 latest customer experience trends, which we want to give you so that you could know more what's happening with the latest trend. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I have a bit of cough. And without much further ado, I would like to bring in Jonathan Kiet. Before the camera goes to him, I want to share a bit about Jonathan. Jonathan is a Singaporean who sounds like Malaysian. We love having him here. With Jonathan, VLAN, for 22 years in tech, we have worked together with Jonathan for at least for the past 5 years. So he's very experienced in the customer experience space, and he is experienced in the region because he handled Asia Pacific and multiple industry and multiple partners. So today, I'm very happy to have him here to share with us what is the latest trend for customer experience for 2025, so that we all can take back and get abreast of to give our customer the best and stay ahead of our competitors. Over to you, JK.
Thank you, Lilian. And I think we definitely need to head to Sungai Petani the next time we do this event. We deliver this conference in Sungai Petani, especially when I hear that Peter says there is 550 flight to here. I'm definitely on my way up from Singapore to Sungai Petani. Thank you, Lilian, for the introduction. Jonathan's my name, as what Lilian says. Everyone calls me JK, sometimes called Just Kidding. And I'd like to deliver some content from Zendesk. And let me put it up on the screen right now. And exactly as what Peter has alluded earlier on, right? He's faced so many challenges in building his business. But I think what's important and what stood out for me personally is the fact that he spent all this time trying to know and meet his customers where they want to be met. The customers' needs are important. He spent time trying to meet this. And in the world of customer experience, that's incredibly difficult. It's an incredibly difficult job, especially when you have such a wide set of customers who want to be met in different ways, right? Some are senior, some are junior, some are boomers, some are Gen X, millennials, and they all want to be met and serviced in different ways. So today I'm going to talk about how CX trendsetters are surging ahead and how they're leveraging technology to be able to meet customers where they want to be met and yet deliver an empowering customer service experience. So at Zendesk, if you don't know Zendesk yet, please speak to Li Ling and the folks at VLAN, right? At Zendesk, our mission is to power exceptional service for every person on the planet. So if you look at the mission statement, it's really to power exceptional service. So what does exceptional service mean, and how does technology deliver exceptional service? So CX Trends is an annual publication that Zendesk publishes every year in around January. What we do is that we survey a whole bunch of consumers, a whole bunch of customer users, and we ask them, what's keeping you awake at night? What's keeping you thinking, how do I meet my customers where they want to be met? And in a very common theme, it's all about adopting technology. And to be more specific, it's all about how artificial intelligence is going to be a game changer in the world of customer experience. So if you look at the stats, right, the stats don't lie. We have a big chunk of customers, 78% of customer service experience feel that AI is going to be a biggest transformative and disruptive technology in customer experience. And that's because ticket volumes in customer experience grow exponentially. 38% increase from 2022, and now we're looking at a 34% from 2024 to an estimated 2025 end. So how do you meet and still keep customers happy with an increasing surge of customer tickets? And so at the same time, consumers are now beginning to accept that AI is part of their lives. And I think many of you, when you interact with your service providers, with the Levi's of the world, with the Unities of the world, when it comes to gaming, you know that AI is part of your journey in interacting for customer service. You know that, right? At the same time, there is also a very big gap, right, between companies who now deploy AI to be operationally efficient and those who don't. So that's 70% of consumers. There is a big gap. They're aware of the gap. And essentially, the gap comes about because we're now seeing that there are two kinds of CX leaderships who are now either embracing technology wholeheartedly versus those who are adopting a wait and see approach. So we call them a trendsetter or you're a traditionalist. So a trendsetter are clearly those who have embraced AI as an early adopter. They've looked at technology that enhances human connection. They're looking at how AI can be part of that technology stack. Alternatively, a traditionalist is now still aspiring, but at the same time, they have huge concerns, and they are valid concerns about maintaining a human touch with AI. They're looking at how do I build an AI practice, an AI technology stack within what they have? How do I integrate my technology such that AI becomes a very important part? So if you look at this data, we've categorized that there are essentially 5 trends, and I may want to elaborate that it is human-centric AI trends that's really keeping customer support very busy, keeping them up at night. Right? So the first trend that we're looking at is that now Copilot. Now we've all know what Copilot. It is a very strongly branded terminology in artificial intelligence. So how do companies adopt Copilot to be sitting alongside their human agents to help them with autonomous service? At the same time, how they're grasping with the challenges of ensuring AI agents are still delivering consumer confidence. And they do that by ensuring any interaction that is supported by AI remains engaging, friendly, and still very human-like. How personal AI assistants are now prompting companies to take a future where even AI assistants are taking the lead in the majority of service interactions. You look at AI and maybe possibly being employed in a chat, in an email, but how about AI in voice? And that is something that's really exciting because there are natural language capabilities now being built into voice. So it's not just digital, but voice as well. And in the world of AI-driven experiences, keeping your experience personable has been proven to build customer loyalty. So how do organizations juggle these 5 human-centric trends? Let's look at the first opportunity for customers. Number 1, right? So AI Copilot access is now driving autonomous service for interactions. Right? So 93% of our trendsetters believe Copilots are a great way. So before I go on with Copilots, what is an agent Copilot? So an agent Copilot is essentially AI helping the agent with addressing customer concerns by pulling in suggested answers, suggested ticket resolutions, and helping the agent then say, I know this can be solved. I know this was solved in a previous way, and I know this kept the customer happy. So you're working with Copilot to implement an AI-driven workflow. You have AI Copilots now generating AI responses through a knowledge base, and therefore is also such an important tool to help agents upskill. Because agents are learning from AI. AI doesn't just learn from knowledge bases, but it's also teaching agents how to be more productive. And something that I didn't know before CX Trends came up, but the number of people who are now using Shadow AI, and Shadow AI essentially means AI tools that is out of your company's approved technology stack, right? You're using it on your own. Has been skyrocketing, right, across the different industries: manufacturing, healthcare, retail, healthcare, and as well as travel. That's a huge jump of people now using AI to help them in their day-to-day operations, and maybe even without the approval of the company's IT. If you're looking at a second trend, how do we create consumer confidence with AI? So how do you adapt conversational styles to make sure that the customer feels empathy and feels friendliness? How AI helps to detect what's the tone of a customer. Is he angry? Is he upset? Is he delighted? And therefore create contextually aware interactions. Demonstrating problem solving, right? We're pulling out successful ticket resolutions from the past and helping agents use that to answer interactions, but most importantly, in a very personable way. So again, the trendsetters are leading the way in accepting that different customers have a different voice. Gen Zs, millennials, Gen X, boomers, all want to be addressed in different ways, and how AI can help identify, create that conversational impact, and ensure that customer loyalty is maintained because you're addressing customers in the way they want to be addressed. Trend 3, AI assistant helps customers to prepare for a future where even AI takes the lead, right? You are using AI to draft emails, to draft responses. You're helping AI is helping customers to even be embedded directly into consumer services, right? So for example, you can now chat through AI to your agent, and you think you're talking to an agent, but AI is effectively pulling out your information, your order details, It's addressing queries like, when is my order being delivered? I want a refund. AI now is able to take that interaction to a point where the human agent doesn't even need to be involved. Exciting. Voice AI. Now, we talk about AI being prevalent in digital, but voice AI is something that's really exciting. So even through a conversation through a phone, AI is able to pick up what the sentiment of a customer, translate that into text, and then help the agent understand in a very short term, understand what's the customer sentiment, and use AI to provide that relevant support to solve their customers' problems. And so many customers are leading to AI, but they always think that AI is restricted to digital. So the trendsetters are now looking into, hey, AI through voice is something that they should really look at. Because in many countries, in many interactions, voice still plays a very important part of their customer service journey. And bottom line, right? As what Peter has mentioned, knowing your customers, meeting your customers where they want to be, and delivering what the customers want is going to be building customer loyalty, building the ability to build and grow your business through revenue, preventing customers from churning, and yet AI is still the cornerstone of that. So how do you do that? Lots of areas where AI can really be a game changer in two ways. You're growing your business, and yet AI is helping you to reduce your costs. It's a perfect storm, right? So if you look at this across the board, right? How many customers across the board have the correct tools in place to build an AI strategy? And that's something that we could take to a next level in our deeper discussions with our partners like VLAN. And if you look at some of our successful customers who have leveraged AI, I think everybody knows Unity. Unity is a huge game developer. They offer tools to help game developers build their games. And if Unity deployed AI, and in the last year, huge deflection of tickets, right? 8,000 tickets were deflected because of self-service, which was enabled by Zendesk. Huge amounts of savings because they're now seeing the cost per tickets being saved. Improvements in response times, improvements in self-service resolutions, and that's how AI is delivering an improvement in customer resolution, improvements in customer loyalty, and yet, perfect storm, reducing cost. Stanley Black & Decker, we all know them. Most workmen, most carpenters would have a Stanley Black & Decker in their hands. Look at it. Look at the improvement that Stanley Black & Decker had when they decided that AI was the way to go, right? Within 3 weeks, they saw an increase in 300% in agent productivity, meeting SLAs, all within 3 weeks. So this is the end of my sharing about customer trends for 2025. We're happy to take queries, happy to take questions. I'm going to be passing this back to Li-Ling. Thank you, Li-Ling.
Thank you, JK. Before we go for Q&A, with Peter and JK sharing, actually reminds me of a long-time Zendesk customer that we had to. During COVID, we helped a local Airbnb customers. They helped to sell packages of room and boards in Malaysia. So when they took on Zendesk, they also, during COVID, it's very hard for hospitality industry. So what they did is they sell packages, value vouchers, stays, massage, everything to be activated on their portal. After they use Zendesk, they found out that 80% of their customer inquiry to their team is how to activate the voucher. So the business owner immediately went back to the team and simplified the process and then share it with people who buy the vouchers. That has increased their customer satisfaction and reduced the inquiry and improved their customer experience in engaging with the customer and utilizing the voucher. So I think at the heart of it, the core of great customer experience is like what Peter always does. Always listen to your customers, always give them value, anticipate their value, and give them more than they anticipate. I think that goes beyond business owner. That goes to every team member of a business organization. We need everyone to be able to do that. Which is then the other spectrum where we have JK, Zendesk. How do we use technology to help us today? And given the AI exploded, I'm so kind of tired of hearing the word AI, but it's not going away. It's only the beginning. And with what JK shares that if you are a business that did not adopt any system with AI, your staff would have started using AI on their own. Your customers are also getting used to AI. So where are you at this point of time of your business to make sure you're staying abreast in time that will help you give timely information and respond accordingly? And with that, of course, this is the whole objective of why we want to bring all this sharing to our audience here. And now we'll look at the Q&A session. Okay, the first question we have here. How does CX strategies involving AI differ among different industry? JK, I think that's addressed to you.
So the question is, how does AI adoption differ among different industries?
CX strategies.
Yeah, CX strategies. I'm sorry. Yeah, so CX strategies will differ. And it's really pertaining to understanding, number one, I think what's the human cost of labor. So if the human cost of labor is really prohibitive, and it's not able to cope with maybe increasing ticket volumes, I think that's where the use of technology has to come in to balance that. And the cost of labor is getting increasingly expensive. And also another thought to think about is that Peter mentioned something which I thought was really critical: the challenge of retaining talent, right? So you need to balance that with agent burnout. So how does tech come in to help manage the cost of labor, retaining talent, and the cost of technology, reaping the benefits in making a very balanced customer retention? So yes, I think that's really, really critical. The second thing that many customers do spend a lot of time thinking about is how easy it is to see returns on their investment in technology, right? So we have experiences where customers have a last minute urgent requirement to build a CX technology stack. Some will wait 12 months to be ready. Some wanted it upfront quickly in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I think that's where the choice of technology is clear, right? If they wanted something that was really out of the box, there are solutions like Zendesk, which can do it. And I think that's really the sweet spot where customers make their decisions.
I think you did. I think most important to get is the ROI, right? That's very important to business when they adopt and what they intend to achieve with that. The next question is from Sam. I'm all for technology to be integrated in customer service. The challenge I see really is the human part. Except the few places in Malaysia, majority lack the following: work attitude, mannerism, honesty, integrity, fast response time, knowledge at work to address customer need, being proactive than just a dummy. To me, tech is an enabler and a workhorse for human. Unfortunately, I see companies think tech can resolve issues, which is to me just ignoring customer needs and resolving issue at the end. Or is it over the years, customers themselves have become less sophisticated? Hence the double whammy in customer service. What's your opinion? I think this question is open to both JK and Peter, and your opinion. So if I can get the gist of Sam's question is it also because customers themselves become less sophisticated and he felt that people who are in the customer service line are being less proactive, and maybe sometimes, owners or bosses think that tech may help, but they forgot the human part where humans are, being less proactive. What's our opinion? Peter, would you like to take this?
Definitely. Okay, one of the challenges of integrating AI into hospitality is where can we put it? Okay, I'll give you an example. One part where I see AI can work for us is through answering inquiries for customers. This is one part which I think most hotels will have a problem in, because if you call in to make a reservation, for example, for a restaurant, and then suddenly you have another inquiry, say, oh, I want to know what's your room rate is today. And that person will most probably go, and then, the call will stop there. So unless you get my dream person to answer the call is a person who knows almost every aspect of the hotel. Means, for example, if you were to call this person, for example, she can tell you what is your room rate in 2 months' time. She can tell you how big is your function room and how many you can fit, and all that. But like what he said, also being, with the lack of expertise and the work attitude and the mannerism of employees today, that's actually quite impossible. If we could get an AI who can do that, I think it will actually help a lot of businesses.
So true.
Yeah.
JK, what about you?
Sam is really a deep thinker. I really applaud his questions. I think Sam's got probably hit the nail on the head in many of his questions. I mean, if you're looking at what he's saying, right? Customer service agents have a really, really tough job. We have to acknowledge that. Ticket volumes are increasing. You're having to face different questions, different kinds of queries, and they're asked to do more. They have to do shifts. You got to look at periods where there are busy periods, there are lull periods. Tech can help in many, many ways. I'll be a bit more specific into how Zendesk can help it. Zendesk has tools that we call quality assurance. So quality assurance helps to monitor the quality of conversations and to make sure that they're aligned to things like approved answers, approved tones, and they're able to pick up, for example, where specific agents maybe lack the right skills or lack the right coaching to be effective in being a customer service agent. And that's probably picking up some points about mannerism, honesty, and integrity. And in most cases, failure to act with honesty or with maturity or honesty, it slips by management because there's no tools in place to monitor where the standards have dropped. So yes, tech does offer solutions around it. Quality assurance is one. Another tool that you can look at is to look for things like forecasting, right? How do I forecast when I need more agents and when I need less? And during busy periods, tools like forecasting can help identify when you need more agents on deck. Lull periods, you can have less agents online, and maybe the spare agents could be spending their time doing things like coaching and retraining and understanding policies. So yes, tech can come in and solve a majority of issues that you did raise. I think the challenge is getting customers to accept that technology does exist today, right? And be open to it. And that's probably my take to your question.
For me, for Sam, my point is I'll make it short for two, because why measuring customer experience is so important. Because like Peter said, one, all the inquiries to your business channel, the people who are managing this will be your first layer, customer experience net. So if you answer purely, it reflects on the business. So having a customer experience tool that help to measure something called Net Promoter Score. Organizations that had Net Promoter Score high, one, they will more likely refer the business to their friends and family. So people view you by that. That's what your Google review does, but a proper tool does. A company that has high Net Promoter Score also will have higher retention of talent, because then they are also higher satisfaction of the employee to that. So that's why tech using the right metrics is very important for you to address your customers, also to build your team on that. I'll go to the next question. This is by Anonymous. How can business balance the use of AI automation with regular human interaction in improving CX? Peter, would you like to take that?
You can't, for the hospitality industry, you can't really fully, automate it. It's almost impossible. One big area that you can't automate, obviously, is housekeeping. There's no way a robot can, clean the bathroom and make the beds and all that, So, but the part where human empathy, for example, is very difficult to copy through AI, I believe. I'll give you an example. Like when I take a customer inquiry, for example, I can, from a very bad situation, if I know how to say the right words or, catch the meaning or what the customer actually wants, I can change a bad situation into a good situation. It has happened before, actually. Customer is so angry because of a problem, and, and just by talking to the customer and having some empathy and, being apologetic and finding solutions, immediate solutions for the customer, and that customer became a long-term loyal customer. Wherever I go, that customer will actually come and say hello to me. Until today, it's been, I think, almost 10 years. And it was just from a problem that nobody wanted to solve. And we found solutions to it immediately, not like, wait for 2 or 3 days or wait for HQ to come back with the solution. I have to refer to someone, all that, So, and can AI do this? I think it's quite tough. Yeah. JK, what do you think?
I think between both of us, Peter, I think we probably would be able to provide the best answers, because in your industry, the human touch, the human experience, right? It's so important. So maybe I'll try to address this from where technology could help. So your question is, how can businesses balance the use of AI in with regular human interaction? So at Zendesk, one of the ways that we do this, and it's really, really powerful, is that when AI is enabled in Zendesk, the agent who receives the ticket is able to identify, number one, what's the intent, the language of the person who's writing that email. It summarizes the intent and language. AI also prompts the agent to say, well, this customer's really unhappy, and then be able to recommend the right tone to the agent. So the agent is still in control. The co-pilot is now helping the agent to answer that question in the most personable manner. So within the interaction, the agent is now able to select different tones. You could then select a formal tone. So for example, if I'm an agent and my customer is Peter, and I know he's a senior person, he's a general manager, I would be asking and be replying in a very formal tone, because I don't think Peter would receive a response that says, hey buddy, thanks for your inquiry, right? Because it's not suitable for a person of Peter's stature. Conversely, if it's a Gen Y, a millennial, right? He's coming in and says, hey buddy, where's my order? The agent can then select a friendly tone that says, thanks for your order, buddy. We've got your order. Rest assured, it's with us. You'll be getting it soon. But I don't think this response fits well with someone like Peter. So that's how AI is able to address that conversation flow to make sure that, yes, the answer that we give is still going to be relevant to the person who's raising that ticket. And that's ultimately the way the AI helps to maintain customers and build that loyalty, because the AI is now helping the agent to identify what genre of customer that we're talking to. So I hope that answers your question on that.
My takeaway from both of your answer is, one, the key to turn a problem into an opportunity, especially a customer complaint, is fast action and fast resolution. Any business desire is to have a lot of Peter in helping to resolve that. Instead of, other than cloning Peter, the next best thing is invest in a system that have an AI, because the AI will have to train your people in terms of prompting the integrity, honesty, or proactiveness. Because sometimes when you're in the midst of taking a complaint and taking the hit, you don't have anyone to turn to how to respond accordingly, the customer profile, the right tone, so that would help to have a better response and engage and resolve the problem faster and correctly. So before we move to the next questions, those who are still online, may I ask you for a little favor? Please send a feedback, scan the QR code and send us a feedback so that we can also send you the CX trend report. We have a few more questions to go. The next questions is also by Anonymous. What are the challenges businesses face when integrating AI into their business? JK.
Sorry, I was on mute. Measuring CX success, what are the key metrics? So I think the few key metrics that customer service managers always look out for, right? And eventually, by meeting these metrics, it does translate into bigger business objectives like customer retention and also revenue growth, right? And I think one of the first and very key metrics is actually a first response time. Now, how many of us have written in and waited and waited and waited without receiving a response, right? So first response time is really key. Things like CSAT, NPS is also very key because it's a way to measure the success of an interaction, right? Whether it was successfully solved, it wasn't successfully solved. But the bottom line is that while you have a huge bunch of metrics to think about, and I just mentioned just the tip of the iceberg, what's more important is the capability to extract a report to say, is my FRT met? Is my CSAT met? Was it met during a certain period or did it slip during other periods? And that kind of ties back to the underlying challenges within your customer service operation. It then ties back to challenges like, did I have enough agents available at a certain time? Were the agents trained well or did they need more coaching? So the metrics only tells you the story. The metrics only tells you the top end of the story, the tip of the iceberg. Understanding what's behind those metrics that's really important. And therefore, the depth, the complexity of your reporting really comes in.
Thank you, JK. I fully agree with that. Being 22 years in technology, these are the international and industry standards. CSAT, your customer satisfaction score, which is very important, although word of mouth is their action, but at least you know whether they're happy or not, and you can take action immediately before you lose them. Secondly is sorry, it's called my mind. What's the other score that, JK, help me. Just now, what score was it that I mentioned?
NPS.
Yes.
Yes.
That indicate how well your organization score stacking among others in the industries. It affects how customers, why they choose your business. It also affects why talent want to choose with your business. So these are the two scores to look into, people who want to measure their customer experience. The next question is by VK, is addressed to Tuan Peter. What's your take CX in the retail industry Malaysia? What's the gap and feedback from your experience, Peter?
Oh, okay. Your retail industry. Okay. Uniqlo recently opened in Sungai Petani. Yeah, and the quality of staff there, I can tell you, is 3 or 4 times better than what we have in the local hospitality industry. It's funny, yeah. Salary-wise, they're not paid much more than, let's say, an entry level in hospitality, but attitude-wise, and it boils down to something that which I think we are missing. We don't train people enough. You know, we don't have enough training. Other industries actually have invest more in trainings compared to hospitality industry, because of also the reason why, because we're always short of staff. we don't have, not to say we don't have the funds to, we do have the funds, but because we're always short of staff and we're always busy and not many hotels actually do put in more emphasis on training. But I spoke to someone in the retail industry, like Uniqlo, for example, the emphasis on training there is, top notch. So, probably that's where the difference is. Itu saja.
Thank you, Peter. So back to customer experience, because front-facing agents, like what JK earlier said, you face a lot of query, a lot of hit. And like what Peter said, you need a lot of training. And something also business trying to give, but not can all the time. Such if you have a customer service tool that has an AI who's constantly training you. I personally use AI a lot, like Gemini, like Copilot, because there are some questions and I don't know the answer and I prompt. And you have an AI specially trained in international standard for customer experience to feed you with the proper answer, right sounding, to give you the right information. I think that helps a lot. So that is just right on to what Peter said, training that is very important for the retail. We move on to the next question. When measuring CX success, what are the key metrics that businesses should track? I'll pass the floor to JK first.
Yeah,
and then
should be
to Peter.
JK.
Yeah. So really, I think I accidentally answered this question the last time around. I think we missed the question which was posed a little earlier, which was what are the challenges businesses face when integrating AI into businesses? I think that was a question that we missed earlier.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
go
I think
ahead.
because I was scrolling too quickly. My bad. So let me maybe take a step at answering this one first. Right? What are the challenges businesses face? Well, I think one of the challenges is overcoming the fear that AI takes away jobs. Right? And I think that's fundamentally where a lot of companies who employ large customer service teams face. Like, is it going to take away my job? So I think the first step then is to identify what is your problem, right? Is your problem in customer churn? Is your customer in growing business revenue? If you dive into a little deeper, what's causing that problem? Is it because, for example, customers are abandoning you because your first response times fail, your NPS is failing, no one is addressing me in a personal way, and that's why I'm leaving the company. So I think that's where the AI journey has to start, right? So AI is an enabler and not AI taking away jobs. So I think that the mentality has to shift a little bit. So the question then is, how do we integrate, right? So first, be clear where AI adds value. Then we come down to the more technical aspect. I think that's really building out the AI workflow. When AI was first launched, right, it was positioned as a learning model. AI learns along the way and gets smarter. But when AI has nothing to learn from, and that's where most customers don't see the value of AI because it doesn't have a good knowledge base, a good set of customer data to learn from. And therefore, the challenge then is AI able to learn? So the benefit of working with Zendesk in this manner, so I need to put on my Zendesk hat this time around, is that Zendesk across the world, we have 147,000 paying agents who employ 6.5 million agents across the world. So when AI is introduced to your organization through Zendesk, there is already a huge learning behind the agent tools that is out of the box. So the time to value when you deploy AI is hugely dependent on where you learn from. Right? So that's where customers need to understand and then select the right technology to work with. I think that's my take on this.
Thanks, JK. But I think Peter is very humble because without two advanced techs, he already having a lot of success metric measure. My question to here is business profit is one of it. Like, who want to do all the work and not earn profit, right? And he instinctively has also increased the wages living for his team and staff. So the point when business is good, when people really come and you're doing good business has profit, they will reinvest back to the organization, to the well-being, all that stuff. So that is the success metrics. As for the technical world, the tech world, back again, it mentioned, it is the net promoter score. It is the customer satisfaction score. So this is not I say, you say, JK say, Peter say. This is the world standard and has been proven. How do you systematically do it? And the system that you're going to choose, other than helping you track, do they help you to improve your customer service agent? This is very important when you want to invest in a system. You want to invest in a system that is continuously improving. So my take is that. There were two more questions left only. The next question is by Kevin. Peter Boss, do you keep track of the needs of your customer? If so, how did you do it?
We do keep track. I personally do keep track. I'll give you an example. Give you an example. Every year during winter, which is December, January, a lot of Koreans will come to Malaysia to play golf because it's much cheaper for them to play golf here. Roughly, if you play golf here for a month, the same cost. I mean, the amount that you pay will be like just for you can play golf a week in Korea. That's how much the price difference is. So every year we used to get about 20 to 30 golfers. So last year we did quite well, and this year we had a booking of about 65 Korean golfers. So Koreans love their coffee. So they arrived in mid-December. So in about early November, I thought of actually improving the coffee that we serve here. Normally, if you go to most hotels, they will serve either local coffee or, at best, probably Nescafe machine and all that. So I work with Starbucks through Nescafe to bring in Starbucks coffee. So if you were to have breakfast today here, for example, you'll have free flow of Starbucks coffee, brewed coffee. So that was actually planned for the Koreans because they love their coffee. And because of this, we are getting more bookings from Koreans for the upcoming golf. I mean, for their next trip to Malaysia. So when you track customer needs, it has to be something that can make a difference to your revenue. And also you need to know what the cost is. If something which doesn't make a difference to your revenue, but the cost is high, there's no point doing it. It means you're only catering to a very small target, very small portion of your market. Another one, for example, every year about October to December, let's say this year, end of this year, October, December, we'll have a lot of weddings. So in April after Raya, we will start promoting weddings by having wedding fairs, getting the sales manager to go out to visit bridal houses and all that to get the connections and all that. So you promote weddings. So there's a need. I mean, we know, for example, there's a huge wedding market in Sungai Petani. Everybody gets married in Sungai Petani. I don't know why, So hence we target that market. So that's the way we do it. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
The last question of the day from Kevin. How important is it to personalize CX? I think both of you can answer that. Maybe JK, you go first.
Extremely, extremely important. If you look back into maybe even my generation, which tells you how old I am, or even much older, how do you contact somebody if you need help, right? You pick up the phone, dial a toll-free number, and pray somebody picks up the phone in time, right? Is that personal service? It wasn't, right? Because that was the only way that technology was available then. And then it became email, and then it became things like web chats, webhooks, web chats. So it's very important to meet customers where they want to be met, and that's personalizing CX. So if you're looking at different ways to meet the customers, the current generation of the Gen Xers, the millennials, they're not going to pick up the phone and call customer support. They're going to go online, they're going to chat. They may be on Facebook, they may be on WhatsApp, they may be on Instagram, they may be online on Viber. So meeting customers where they want to be met. And I think that's the first step in creating a personalized CX business. Meeting them, having multi-channel, or otherwise we call it omni-channel. I think that's the first step. And then bringing in tools such as AI to provide, number one, 24/7 response and 24/7 instantaneous response. So I think that's really key, because you then meet the metrics of your first response times. And therefore, your customers will feel, hey, my service provider is listening to me. They're willing to meet me where I want to be met. And therefore, my needs are being addressed. I spoke earlier about how AI is helping customers along that journey, creating different personable tones, creating access through self-service tickets, self-service deflection of commonly asked questions. And that's really helping the first response time challenges. So I think that's probably the first step that you look at to personalize, or why it's so important to personalize CX. I'll pass the ball back to Peter.
There's one thing that I did, which I think actually made quite a decent impact on the personalized service here. If you go to many hotels, once you check in, then they give you a cold towel for you to wipe with a welcome drink. So I decided to do that in golf. It's something which is not really that expensive. You only buy the towels and the perfume water. We have our own washing machine and dryer. So I bought about 200 small towels from Shopee, cost about $250 each. So every time a golfer comes back, especially when the weather is hot, then we'll get them a cold towel. And a lot of them were actually surprised at first, because you normally don't get this level of service in a golf course, for example. So, and it doesn't cost much. There's a lot of things that you can do actually in the hotel or in the golf course or in any other hospitality business that doesn't cost much money, but it's just something which would take a bit of your time. Another thing I do sometimes in the morning when I wake up, I will go to the golf reception and I will greet every golfer that comes in the morning. I will take their golf bags from their car and I'll put it on the buggies, for example. It's no big deal. It's just something you can speak to the golfers, thank him for coming, but the most important thing when you're doing this is that you cannot discriminate. Means whether that person drives a Honda or the person drives a Lexus, both of them gets the same treatment. Has to be consistent on that. If you can do that, then you'll probably do well. Yep.
Great answer from both of you. I've also learned. We do have one more last question that come in. Let's take that. What lessons can smaller businesses learn? It is from Jack, by the way. Thank you, Jack, for your question. What lessons can small businesses learn from major CX leaders when it comes to improving their own CX? Who would like to take this first?
JK?
Sure, I'll take that. It's very important, because if you look at the success of Zendesk today, right, we're probably the largest and most known CX platform, but we grew our beginnings in small and medium businesses, right? So it's looking at, number one, how important is it to retain first sale. And if you think you're just selling and making a transaction and moving on to the next customer and forgetting that the ability to provide customer experience, exceptional customer service is important, then I think you would not look at a metrics like customer retention. You will not look at a metrics of customer churn. Is your customer leaving you? Is your customer not being a champion of your goods and services? And it is a challenge for smaller companies, but it's a starting point for them to grow their installed base of customers. And I think that's so important. Maybe I pass this back to Peter.
For the hospitality industry, it would depend a lot on the owner actually. Majority of hotels in Malaysia are actually independently owned. And to get hotel owners to invest in technology, for example, even something like AI is actually quite a difficult task because many of them are still boomers in that sense. They don't see the value in it. We do see the value because we interact with customers on a daily basis. We do keep up with the trends in the market and all that, but many owners don't. And unfortunately, in many cases, the owners are the one that decides end of the day, do I buy this product or not? It's not the general manager. You'll be surprised. So hence, that's where we can't really follow what the major businesses do. We would like to, for example, I would like to have staff as good as Uniqlo, for example, but I can't because the owners will not, invest in certain tech or training needs and all that. That's the issue that we have.
I would like to, thank you, Peter. I would like to add on to this question because VLAN is a small business ourselves and we digitalize because we feel the business pain. And other than consulting customers on Zendesk, we use Zendesk for the past 5 to 6 years. In fact, we use Zendesk before we become Zendesk reseller because we found it solved our business problem in customer experience. And then we started referring to customers. And then we were asked, inquired, hey, do you want to offer Zendesk instead? So what small businesses learn is, while you may have talent, your talent or your people need a tool. You need a system, a customer experience system to start to be able to track. And when I say a tool, WhatsApp email is not a tool. You need a system that has a platform that automatically collect all the informations and that have the trail of the information so that as business owner, what Peter says is very true. Business owner or the team leader are the main driver of the usage of the technology. And like what our audience said, technology is an enabler and end users are the main person enabling it. So for small businesses, technology is your leverage. It's what you use to make you on par of the bigger name. Because why? With technology, with tracking, you know what your customers are asking for. You know how is your staff performing. You have data to support your decision. You get a better insights on what's happening on the ground without other than just walking down to verify what you want to do, because it's very obvious. So once, even with VLAN ourselves, once we implement our help desk, we use it, first of all, to review how's our own response time to our customers. Secondly, we use it to help to improve our team's performance, to help them to success. So currently now, we've been using it for 6 years, and with a task force of 5-6 support agent engineer, we service more than 300 to 500 customers on our IT inquiries. So that is a classic usage. And if you do not know where to start, just start anywhere. Start by using a tool, choose a tool. But of course, with money, and the right question is choose the right tool, a tool that is constantly improving together with your intent to improve your business. But start today. If you don't have a tool, you will be forever lagging because your process is very old school. You had nothing to compare. So you need to start today. So that's my take. Before we end the show, I think JK, for your sharing on the trends, what's the last word you want to leave the customer with from all the sessions and all the sharing today?
Right. So I think between myself and Peter, I think we do have many common themes that resonate, right? But essentially is how do you grow business revenue, maintain customer loyalty, right? Retain talent all at the same time by leveraging tools, right? So tech tools will help you to achieve that together with the added benefit of lower costs. So I think if you look from that perspective, we do address any challenges that businesses are facing. So come please speak to Elan as well as Xander on this. Thanks.
Okay, we have come to the end of our sharing session today. Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much,
Thank
JK.
you.
And to all the audience there, we really appreciate your time and attention today. We hope that you have taken more insights and more stories and success and examples that will help you in your business. And I wish that the coming snake years, oh, we are here already, the snake years, that it will be a great year of profit for us all.